Hey there, listeners. This is your host, Trenz, signing in, and welcome to another episode of Trenz Podcast. For today's episode, I will be doing a book review of the fifth and sixth book of the James Bond series, or should I say, our beloved Agent 007, written by author Ian Fleming. The titles of the books are From Russia with Love and Dr. No. Also, follow me on my social media accounts such as Instagram at TrenzYBA, Twitter at Trenz Ybañez, and on YouTube as Katrina Ybañez. Without further ado, let's begin the book review. Now, before I do my own book review, I wanted to read what is written at the back of the book. From Russia with Love, Ian Fleming's fifth James Bond novel. James Bond is marked for death by the Soviet counterintelligence agency SMERSH in Ian Fleming's masterful spy thriller, the novel that President J.F. Kennedy named one of his favorite books of all time. SMERSH stands for Death to Spies, and there's no secret agent they'd like to disgrace and destroy more than 007, James Bond. But ensnaring the British Secret Agent Service's most lethal operative will require a lure so tempting that even he can't resist. Enter Titania Romanova, a ravishing Russian spy whose defection springs a trap designed with clockwork precision. Her mission? Seduce Bond, then flee to the west on the Orient Express. Waiting in the shadows are two of Ian Fleming's most vividly drawn villains, Red Grant, SMERSH's deadliest assassin, and the sinister operations chief, Rosa Klebb, 5 feet 4 inches of pure killing power. Bursting with action and intrigue, From Russia with Love is one of the best-loved books in the Bond canon, and is an instant classic that set the standard for sophisticated literary spycraft for decades to come. And now, on to my book review of the first book for this episode, From Russia with Love by Ian Fleming. Genre, fiction, mystery, thriller. Number of pages, 259. I started reading this book on October 26, 2021, and finished reading it on October 28, 2021, and read it as an ebook. I would definitely recommend reading this book. The fifth book in the James Bond series is a bit different from all the other 4 books before it, as this particular book mainly centers around what Russians want to do with Bond and how he deals with their plans. From Russia with Love by Ian Fleming is a novel centered around the infamous British M15 spy James Bond. In this installment of the Bond saga, Bond is targeted for elimination by the Russian intelligence agencies. To lure Bond to his death, the Russians have enlisted the help of a beautiful woman to seduce the famous spy. As Bond falls in love with this gorgeous woman, he allows his defenses to slip, making himself vulnerable to the Russian plot. From Russia with Love is more romantic than the previous Bond novels, giving the reader unique insight into this much-loved character. In this book, we are introduced to 4 new characters on which the novel revolves around other than Bond. First, we are introduced to Grant, a killer for the secret killing machine of the MGB, is lounging by the pool when he gets word that he is needed in Moscow. Grant rushes to Moscow at the same time the leaders of various Russian intelligence agencies are meeting with the leader of SMERSH. They must choose an intelligence agency of an enemy country to attack. Next, we have the woman. Titania Romanova has declared that she wants to defect to England because she is in love with Bond, a man she only knows by reputation. Is she really defecting from Russia? Or is this all an act? In Istanbul, Bond meets with Darka Karim, the leader of the British substation in Istanbul. What happens to him? Does he have a major role in the story? And lastly, we have Rosa Klebb. Who is she? And what is her role in all of this? Which person from Bond's past does he meet towards the end of the novel? Read to find out, my dear listeners. Read to find out. now for the summary that you can read at the back of the book, Dr. No, which is the 6th James Bond thriller from Ian Fleming's typewriter. Dispatched by M to investigate the mysterious disappearance of M16's Jamaica's station chief, Bond was expecting a holiday in the sun, but when he discovers a deadly centipede placed in his hotel room, the vacation is over. On this island, all suspicious activity leads to Dr. No, a reclusive megalomaniac with steel pincers for hands. To find out what the good doctor is hiding, 007 must enlist the aid of local fisherman Quarrel and alluring beachcomber Honeychill Rider. Together they will combat a local legend the natives call the Dragon, before Bond alone must face the most punishing test of all, an obstacle designed by the sadistic Dr. No himself that measures the limits of the human body's capacity for agony. And here is my book review for the second book in this episode, Dr. No by Ian Fleming, genre fiction and thriller, number of pages 309. Started reading this book on October 28, 2021, and finished reading this book on October 31, 2021. That was Halloween, and I read it as an evil. I would definitely recommend reading this book. It is the 6th book in the James Bond series. Once again, takes us back to Jamaica. Dr. No by Ian Fleming is a James Bond novel. This novel begins where the last left, with James recovering from poison injected into his shin by a Russian SMERSH officer. M is concerned that Bond is not up to returning to his job, so he sends him to Jamaica on what he believes will be an easy assignment. However, the assignment proves to be one of the most difficult Bond has ever encountered, both physically and mentally. Dr. No is a novel that will push Bond to his limits and will prove highly entertaining for both die-hard fans and readers new to the Bond saga. We start off with the death of Secret Service agent Strangeways and his secretary, who are both stationed in Jamaica. The higher-ups, including M, is under the impression that they ran away together. Bond is sent to Jamaica under the guise of an easy assignment, but there are numerous attempts on his life. We are also reintroduced to Quarrel, the Jamaican who trained him in the novel Live and Let Die, and who has complete faith in Bond. As Bond and Quarrel investigate Crab Key, they encountered a Jamaican girl. What is this dragon the girl is talking about? Just who is Dr. No? Why did a 3 Chinese Negro man murder Strangeways? What is really happening in Crab Key? Well, read the book to find out, my dear listeners. Read the book to find out. Hey there, listeners. That's all for today's episode of Trenz Podcast. You can find Trenz Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't forget to follow or subscribe and leave a comment. And if you want to hear more book reviews and other topics, stay tuned for another episode of Trenz Podcast and keep on listening.